Hare Krishna. So we'll be discussing the fourth canto, chapter number 12. Chapter title Dhruva Maharaj goes back to Godhead. Okay. So earlier we saw the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, in this pastime, previously we saw how Dhruva Maharaj, after fighting with Yakshas, um, he was almost about to annihilate the race of the Yakshas. Because Yakshas are also so much of Kshatriya spirited, they, even though they are getting killed like left and right, but still they kept fighting. And these are witnessed by this war incidents was witnessed by Swayambhu Manu, who was the grandfather of Dhruva Maharaj. So Swayambhu Manu becomes compassionate towards the Yakshas. For the fault of one Yaksha, so many Yakshas are dying. And he becomes compassionate on Yakshas, and also he becomes he becomes concerned about Dhruva Maharaj offending Kuvera. So, but if you see how, like, even when the Yakshas were being killed, immediately the Yakshas who were killed, immediately they were promoted to Brahmaloka. For a Yaksha, for Brahmaloka is the like super promotion. Yakshas are not even like they are like Kuvera maintains the treasury of the demigods, but Yakshas are like not heavenly residents actually. Their realm is little lower than the heavenly planet. But when the Yakshas were killed by the Dhruva Maharaj, they are automatically promoted to Brahmaloka, where the prayers are thousands, 10,000, thousands times greater than the Swargaloka also. But still, Yakshas, nobody, like, no, um, every living entity lives with the conception of Aham Mameti, I am this body. This kind of concept. Only a self-realized soul can live with the concept in that I am the spirit soul, I am part and parcel of Krishna, this body and body relations are not very of significant to me. That, like, no, that's why, like, no, so Sukha Dukkha Samakshami, a person who is equal in both happiness, distress, heat and cold, all that kind of spiritually advanced persons are very rare. So, but still, like, even though if you taking the, and thinking on the spiritual terms, Yakshas are getting benefited only. But still, every living entity is consider the body, its body itself as the very dear to him. Yakshas, from the Yakshas perspective, are living on this plane, they don't like to be killed. Like when a child is holding something, some cheap toy. Mother wants to take away a cheap toy and give a very nice toy, better toy. But when the child is very much adamant to holding that toy and the crying and doing a lot of drama, then mother says, okay, you enjoy with that toy only. Means you enjoy with you settle with that level of pleasure only, like that. So now Swayambhu Manu takes compassion on the suffering of the Yakshas. So he come to Dhruva Maharaj and he actually instruct Dhruva Maharaj about to stop the fight. So hearing the instructions of Swayambhu Manu, Dhruva Maharaj immediately stopped the fight. So when he stopped the fight, then this news reaches to, like, let me read the Learning Dhruva Mahārāja's anger had subsided, Kuvera appeared
Prabhu,
to.
your slides are not moving
No, no,
actually.
I didn't started it.
Okay,
I'm still giving the instruction. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Let me. So learning that Dhruva Maharaj gave up the fight and learning that Dhruva Maharaj's anger has subsided, Kuvera appeared and spoke to him. So then Kuvera instructs about um the nature of spirit soul and how the laws of karma work. Hmm? So he said, Kuvera says to Dhruva, you are sinless because previously Swambhavanu says, right, you have to please Kuvera and you have to, because you have offended Kuvera, who is actually friend and brother of Lord Shiva. So you have to, beg forgiveness to Kuvera, not beg forgiveness, please Kuvera, so that he doesn't get offended because of your actions. So when Kuvera appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj might have thinking that, oh, I made a mistake. I did a sinful action by killing so many people for the fault of one action. But in if you see in the terms of Kshatriya Dharma, Dhruva Maharaj did not do anything wrong. So that's why Kuvera is saying here, you are sinless, oh sinless one. I am very pleased to know that you have given up your enmity, which is very difficult to avoid. See, especially when somebody is on the winning hand, they don't like to give up the battle, right? When both the parties are suffering great so much of what do you call lose situation or you can say collateral damage. What do you call that? Is it the right word, Mataji? And Prabhuji? Like somebody, like both the parties are having heavy casualties and they cannot cope up with that, then at that point of time they may come to some agreement, okay, let us stop the fighting here. Because basically there are some instances, you see the rams, right, the male sheeps, they are called rams. They start fighting with each other and they run behind and come fast and like dash each other, like one head of ram to another head of another ram. And those rams sometimes actually bleed. Sometimes their horns get uh, broken and their heads start cracking up. Still, that rams still goes together and still again keep on fighting. And they fight until either of the ram or both of the rams will get died. They get died. So that is the situation. Somebody who doesn't have even like a little bit of conscience of purpose of anything and everything. See, the purpose of war is to live happily, right? Like so that I can gain wealth and have properties, women, and they can live happily. But if both the parties are dying, then they may give up the fight. But some foolish entities, like I gave the examples of Ram, right? Even though they are dying, both of them are dying, they won't give up the battlefield. But here, Dhruva Maharaj, even though he was winning and he was in the winning stage, he's actually and but still when Swayambhu instructs and when he just gave up the fight. And Kuvera is saying that it is very difficult to give up the fight because he had that personal enmity with the Kuvera, the Yakshas. And now Kuvera says that the time is the actual cause of the death of both the Kuveras and your brother. So you should not think that Kuveras killed your brother, and Kuvera should not think that you killed him, you killed them. So it is the action of time. That's why Krishna says in right, Prakriti kriyamana gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimuda atma karta hamiti manyate. Even though everything in this material world is carried out by the modes of material nature, the ahankari means a living entity impelled by false ego thinks that he is the doer. Mm. So especially as long as in this material world outside, like no, as long as the things are going nicely as per one's calculation, one's planning, and they are achieving the different goals they have set forth, the people will be very much motivated, and they think that they are the center of the world. They can do it. They can achieve whatever they wanted. Huh? So, but they don't know the different factors contributing to their success. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? There are 5 factors that contribute to the success of successfully happening of anything. So different kinds of senses and like in broader sense, you can say time, place, circumstances, and different kinds of endeavors of the living entity and Paramatma. So those are the so uh, time factor is also one of the greatest thing, and time factors in the modes of nature. Because you see, the modes play a great role in accomplishing a task. Any of you who finish their rounds early in the morning, they can finish the 16th round just like that. If some of you are, even including me, if I don't finish my rounds early in the morning, and if I by any chance if I postpone my rounds for later time of the day, that will take a lot of time. But still, rounds are of not good quality. I mean, rounds with japa. Japa, my mantra meditation is not of good quality, and they take a long time. It is as if you have been chanting for hours together, but nothing is happening. So, but of course, Prabhupada says like, no, we should not chant our rounds for the sake of finishing, but we should do it as a service to Krishna. So, what I mean to say is the modes of nature plays a great role. So, early in the mornings it is Sattvagun time. That's why you have to utilize the Sattvagun time to perform the spiritual activities. And then the later part of the day enters into Rajogun time. Rajogun time can be used for working and all other things, other services. And but Tamogun time is good for sleeping. So here Dhruva Mahārāja actually.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question or should I keep it to the end?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Okay, my question is, before the Tamogun sets, between the dusk and the proper night, before it gets dark, they say that is also a good time because a lot of Brahmins do Sandhya Vanne in the evening also, right, Prabhuji?
Yes.
So is that a good muhurta or a time to?
So basically, like Sandhya Vandana concept is, so the Sandhyas actually this is a transition of the days. So the type of consciousness that you enter into each phase of the day, that will predominate throughout that period of time. See, if you start your morning with nice japa, nicely meditating on Krishna, and then doing puja, that is one way of entering into the day. So that's why Trisandhya bolta hai. Trisandhya means day turning into night turning into the day, and from morning hours to afternoon, and from afternoon evening like day turning into night. Trisandhyas. So how in order to reinstate that consciousness, our consciousness to focus on Guru and Krishna, that this conception of Trisandhya means offering obeisances, offering prayers in the three parts of the day are recommended. Most importantly, especially in the morning and the night. So these morning hours are good for spiritual things, and evening hours are like one should offer prayers to especially Narsingadev, and then like any form of Krishna is also good, but it is recommended mostly Narsingadev in the evening hours, because we are entering into the Asari zone, right? Asari time zone. So that is the rule, Mata. So Sandhya Vandana is
Asari? What did you say, Prabhuji?
Asuri means
Asuri.
demoniac
Okay.
nature, demoniac time. Early morning hours are like divine time, and Daytime is like, it's normal passionate time. And the night time is tamogun, it's a demonic nature. All inauspicious things happen, like Kalakant Prabhu says this thing. Nothing auspicious happens after 8:30 in the night. So just wind up your day by 8:39 and then go to bed. And try to wake up as early as possible, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then start your day early in the morning. That day, some people will start their day at 7 o'clock in the morning. Means they almost lost all the precious hours. They will only operate in at max little means like after we wake up morning early in the morning, we have very little bit of sattvagun. Immediately in half an hour or 1 hour, you lose that. And then you will directly enter into Rajogun. And some people start their day at 9 o'clock. That is another level. So we should always start our day early in the morning hours.
For one question.
Yes, bro.
So when we wake up in the morning,
Mm.
then we can straight sit down for chanting without taking shower. Is okay.
Yes. Wash your mouth and then just take
Like
brushing.
brush and wash
Wash your
mouth
mouth,
and
drink some
then
water, and then you do chanting. That is best.
is okay, right?
That is also okay. Prabhupada used to do like that only.
Because
Prabhupada early
morning time we don't want to waste in shower and everything.
Yeah,
Half
it's
an hour,
not
45.
required.
Huh?
Those rules doesn't apply. So as soon as you wake up, take it, wash your mouth. At least not do brushing, because mouth will smell bad, right, after you wake up.
Yeah.
And then wash your face, and then brush your teeth, wash your face, and then
And sit down.
sit down for chanting. Finish your rounds, get up, take your bath, and then go for DT worship. Do some
Okay.
puja, and then
So after chanting, we can go for like some number 2 and then shower
that's
and then
bathing.
bathing, right?
Yeah,
Cleaning.
bathing.
Okay.
So after chanting, you do bathing. Means like, see, if it is okay, you can do some rounds and then go for bathing, and then it's based on your convenience. So those are details. But taking shower is not a bad idea. You can
Okay. So
shower
it's
also,
okay to
but
do, right? It's okay
early
to
morning
do that.
hours. Earlier, if you wake up at 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to take bath early in the morning, just brush your teeth, wash your face, and then sit down and chant.
Okay. Thank you.
And then finish all
Some
your
devotees
rounds.
they say that you have to take shower, and some devotees says that I'm
No need of
confused.
taking shower. Just wash your mouth and then wash your face, and then you can do something.
Okay. Thank you, bro.
But if you for doing DT worship, for doing darshan, or if you want to go and sit in front of Krishna, then you have to take shower.
Right.
Okay.
So if you go to Mangala Aarti, then you have
Some
to take
people,
shower, right?
they don't feel like taking shower early in the morning hours. Like, means like, if they wake up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they wanted to use that time for chanting, so they do chanting, and then they'll take full bath, and then finally, and then go do the worship, and then go cooking, do offering.
I like to take bath, bro, but the thing is, time goes by, right? I'm wasting my time in bathing, then sitting down and chanting, right?
Taking bath is not wasting time, but if you prefer, that's not a problem. If you prefer, you wanted to utilize early morning or only for
So
chanting, that
makes
is also.
sense. I think we lost Prabhuji or what?
Sorry.
Oh, you were there. Okay. Okay. After your video was frozen.
No, I'm just okay.
Oh, okay, bro. Thank
Mata,
you.
your question is clear, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So next, what happens? Dhruva Mahārāja, when Dhruva Mahārāja gave up this fight, and then Kuvera plays that Kuvera thinks that don't think on the bodily consumption. Your brother is not killed by Yaksha, and your Yakshas you didn't kill any Yakshas. These are all these are all happening due to the time factor. And then, because Kuvera says, I'm pleased with your attitude, and because when Kuvera might have appeared, Dhruva Mahārāja would have worshipped Kuvera, means offered his respects. When we offer respects to any elderly person, then elderly person will give benedictions. So, the same way Kuvera also offered some benedictions to Dhruva Mahārāja. And Kuvera is not like some ordinary person. He is the treasurer of demigod. Treasurer means like he has so much of rights on the wealth of the demigods. So, but Dhruva Mahārāja only asks the benediction that let me remember Krishna always. Dhruva Mahārāja asks for the constant remembrance of the Lord, okay? And Kuvera gladly offers that benediction, because when we go to any demigod, when you ask for anything other than other than the bhakti of Krishna, they'll think they are not very pleased also. But when we ask only bhakti towards Krishna or remembrance of Krishna, or anything related to service of Krishna, they are very much pleased, because that way they are also rendering service to the Krishna. Because demigods are like living entities like us. Even Krishna is also living entity like us. Means like we are living entities like Krishna in one sense. It is said that, right? Nityo nityanam chetanas chetanam eko bahuda yo vidati kaman. No, the Upanishad say this verse, means Krishna is nitya among nityas, means among eternals he is the best eternal. Chetana chetanam, among the conscious entities he is the best conscious entity. Eko bahuna yo vidati kaman. He is the one entity who actually fulfills the desires of all other living entities. So, because of benediction from Krishna, these entities become sometimes demigods, sometimes powerful personalities on the earthly planet, or some because of any benediction, anything obvious things is coming directly from Krishna only. So when we ask demigods about performing bhakti towards Krishna, they are very much pleased. And Kuvera offers this benediction to Dhruva, and then by being then Kuvera gives this benediction and returns back. So, and later, like Dhruva Mahārāja, later on he performs by great sacrifice and charity. Dhruva worshipped Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead. Means later in his rule, or later on during the presence of his being as a king, how Dhruva Mahārāja passed his life is with great sacrifice and charities. Dhruva Mahārāja worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaged in unrelenting bhakti towards Krishna. Means Dhruva Mahārāja was not carried away by any materialistic association. He maintained the severity of devotional service which he performed during his early childhood days. See, like for a person who is actually fully pure in consciousness, fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, for him, now it is very natural and normal living is performing severe tapasya to please Krishna. Like for us, for people like conditioned souls like us, chanting early in the morning, waking up early in the morning, and remembering always Krishna might be a great austerity. But for exalted personalities, or for pure devotees, that is very natural situation. They don't feel anything valuable or anything substantial to do other than performing bhakti towards Krishna or taking the name of Lord Krishna. So whatever we do, we consider austerity is a natural way of living for the pure devotees. So Dhruva Mahārāja spent his life, throughout his life, with the same kind of attitude which he actually performed in that first 6 months of his early childhood. So when Krishna sees that kind of attitude, when that kind of mentality, then only Krishna will take pleasure in coming in front. That's the reason. See, like Krishna, when we deal with Krishna, Krishna not only sees our present, our past, our future, present and past. Krishna will also see our future also. if I appear in front of him, what is going to happen? Krishna knows everything. So Dhruva Maharaj is of this nature. That's why he got all the benedictions from Krishna. So, and Krishna was so confident that Vishnu was so confident that even if Dhruva Maharaj was given the rule of entire kingdom, entire earthly planet, still he will not fall down. With that confidence, Lord actually gave benediction, even the material benediction to Dhruva Maharaj. Okay. So Dhruva Maharaj ruled for 36,000 years, and he married 2 wives, and then he got sons from them, and he actually coronated one of the son, and then finally Dhruva Maharaj, at the end of his life, he went to Badrikashram. He went to Badrikashram after retiring, and then Dhruva Maharaj performed Ashtanga Yoga, means the same bhakti aspect which he performed previously. The Dhruva Maharaj started performing that kind of bhakti yoga, or means like if you see, even in the childhood also, Nardaman teaches some techniques of pranayama. Dhruva Maharaj, how to control the mind and senses and how to worship the Lord. So like that, even after retiring, Dhruva Maharaj performed this Ashtanga Yoga, the techniques that he learned from Narada Muni, and then started worshipping constantly. By constant bhakti, he experiences ecstatic symptoms. So then, after he was passing his days in his tapasya, Dhruva Maharaj saw a beautiful aeroplane with 2 chief associates of the Lord in the aeroplane, stood up and offered respects. And Dhruva Maharaj was fully in Krishna consciousness. And then at that point of time, the true Vishnu Parshadas, the Nanda and Sunanda, comes before Dhruva Maharaj and then tells Dhruva Maharaj to board the flight to go home back to Godhead. And they say, you are very much, please reside in Vishnu Loka, you are worthy to board this unique aeroplane sent by the Lord. Means you are qualified to enter into this aeroplane, and it is personally sent by the Lord to get you back to the spiritual world. So Dhruva Maharaj boards the aeroplane, offers respect to Nanda and Sunanda. Here one thing we have to remember, if spiritual master or any exalted devotee sends any of his representatives, we should offer same respects to them as we offer respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the spiritual master directly. So now here Nanda and Sunanda are the representatives of the Lord, but still Dhruva Maharaj boarded the plane. Immediately after boarding the plane, he offered his respects to Nanda and Sunanda. Oh, he didn't say, "Oh, you are like my servants now." Like they didn't have that kind of attitude. Because in Vaikuntha Loka, every person is a worshipful personality. So that is the difference between spiritual world and material world. In the material world, the conception of ownership and enjoyership, or I am high, you are low, that kind of mentality is there. But in the spiritual world, every living entity is fully conscious of Krishna and is a pure devotee of Krishna. So we have to offer all respects to them. So that's why when you come to temple, we have to offer respect to every person, even the neophyte, even educated, uneducated, rich, poor, intelligent, not so intelligent, all the personalities. These are all other qualifications are material in nature and superficial. But when it comes to being spiritual, especially when they're connected to Krishna, they should be respected on the equal level. Okay. That's why Prabhupada has started to call everybody Prabhu and Mataji like that. Okay. So after that, Dhruva Maharaj boarded the plane and plane started moving. And on his way back, he started remembering. So when Dhruva Maharaj is about to board the plane, the death personified came in front of him, because it is a time, like the time span of Dhruva Maharaj has already done. So death personified came in front of him and offered his head as a stepping stone to board the plane of Vaikuntha. So for a common people, death is like a um, uh, death is like a very fearful thing, right? It is like a cat to a rat. But for a devotee, death is like a cat to a kitten. You understand, right? For a rat, cat is like a death personified. Means it is a loss of life. But for a kitten, death is like a cat is like a kid. For death for devotee is like a cat per kitten. Means death kitten will have so much shelter in the cat, like because cat will take from kitten from one safety place to another safety place. In the same way, death also for devotee takes from one safety place to another safety place. But in this case, in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, generally devotees, like by the will of the Lord or by the will of by their sweet will, they just leave their physical body here and then they go with their spiritual body to the heavenly planet. But with respect to Dhruva Maharaj, Lord doesn't want him to go through the pain of leaving this body also, even the slightest inconvenience of leaving the material body. So Dhruva Maharaj, like that's why Lord sends to bring Dhruva Maharaj back home, back to Godhead with self-same body. So Dhruva Maharaj boards the plane of Vaikuntha by using the death as a stepping stone. And then he boards the plane. And then after when the plane started moving on his way, Dhruva Maharaj remembers his mother. Oh, I'm only going back to Vaikuntha only by the mercy of my mother. If my mother would not have directed me well in my early childhood, I would not have be able to achieve the success of going back to Godhead. So he started feeling, oh, how am I leaving my poor mother back and then going all around to the heavenly planet? That kind of thinking was going on in the Dhruva's mind. So when Nanda and Sunanda observed this, they said to Dhruva Maharaj, oh Dhruva, don't worry about that. Don't worry about your mother, because you see the aeroplane ahead of us. That is your mother going back to Vaikuntha. Means if we assist any devotee in and help them to go back to Godhead, Krishna will help us first to get back to Godhead. So like that's why when we preach to any person, by our good fortune, if any person becomes a serious devotee and then goes back to Godhead, that success, Krishna considers that this person came back to me because of that person. So that person should also have the eligibility to come back to Godhead. So that's why competition, envious nature should always be avoided. When we are envious of any devotee or any devotee's progress or any devotee's advancement, it means that we are actually making greater harm spiritually to ourselves than to anybody. So just like this way, even like some parents who actually raise their children very nicely, being in a Krishna conscious way, when they become great devotees, their parents automatically get benefited. So when after seeing his mother, Dhruva was very much satisfied and very much pleased and paid gratitude to Supreme Lord. So it's in bhakti, even if we see the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj prays for the forgiveness of Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad Maharaj says to Narasimhadev, when Narasimhadev told Prahlad Maharaj to offer any benediction, to ask for any benediction, Prahlad Maharaj says, I don't want any benediction, but if it pleases you, my Lord, you may actually forgive my father and give him liberation. And for that, Lord Narasimhadev says, because he is connected to you as your father, he is already liberated. 14 generations of your past and 14 generations of your future, they automatically get liberated. That's what Narasimhadev says to Prahlad Maharaj. So that's why, even like parent as being Rishabdev says, right? Guru na sasya, pitane na sasya, janani na sasya, daivam na sasya. Means being a guru or mother, father, relative, friend, you might be anybody as long as if you help that person to come closer to Krishna or to get out of this material existence. You will not have, you don't have qualification to become a guru or mother or father if you don't assist your relatives or dependents to come closer to Krishna. So that's how we, by directing, by helping others, including our relatives and friends, we become much closer to Krishna very faster. We please Krishna very faster. That's why when we pray, it is said that when you pray for yourself, Krishna don't listen to your prayers. When other devotees pray for you, then Krishna will listen. When you pray for other devotees, then Krishna will listen to your prayers. That is the loving cooperation between among the devotees. That is the consciousness of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, Srimati Radharani wants other gopis to sit along with Krishna and then on the swing. And other gopis wants to other gopis or Srimati Radharani to sit along with Krishna and on the swing. So like they wanted to give Krishna, they wanted to make others to Krishna more closer than themselves. And that is the mentality of that is the mindset, that is the thinking of, that is the way of living in the spiritual world. So even in, the temples are also like spiritual world. When a devotee is making advancement, a devotee is becoming closer to Krishna, we should be very happy and we should encourage them, we should help them in becoming closer to Krishna, rather than competing him or envying him, envying them. So after that, Dhruva Mahārāja goes back to Godhead by witnessing different planetary systems. So in the verse 36 and 37, this it is the rarest achievement. Like Narada Muni glorifies the pastimes of Dhruva Mahārāja in front of Prachetas. Okay. Dhruva Mahārāja attained the unattainable position because going back to Godhead is the greatest feat that one can achieve in their lifetime. You may achieve anything material or not, that doesn't matter. But if you are able to achieve that thing, means you have achieved everything. That is the highest goal one a person possibly can achieve in their human form of life. So, and then after saying that, there is a falashruti for hearing the pastimes of Dhruva Mahārāja, like one who hears this.
Prabhuji, I have a question from the previous slide.
Yeah, let me finish. Please, I'm concluding.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let us see. Yes, Madhavi, what is it?
Here, Dhruva attained the crest jewel of 3 worlds. So that is Bhuloka, Swargaloka, and Patalaloka.
Yeah, upper, lower,
the
and
ones
middle
that
planet
Sir
system.
Okay.
Yeah, 3. When they say 3 worlds means upper planet system, middle planet system, lower planet system.
Okay.
So Dhruva Loka is a part of the spiritual world, material world only, but it is like an embassy of the spiritual world in the material world. Even if all other planets get destroyed, Dhruva Loka doesn't get destroyed.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you.
There are in this material world is classified into 14 planetary systems, but in broader sense they can be classified into upper, lower, and middle planetary systems. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Thank you.
next they said like Falashruti, somebody who hears the pastimes of Dhruva Mahārāja with great devotion, for them benefits like wealth, fame, pure bhakti, etc. They will achieve, and all sins and miseries will be diminished. So by reciting the story, when we recite the results of, okay, let me read that. When we recite in the morning and evening, during the full moon and the dark moon, Dwadashi and Shravana month, Kshaya days and Vyatitpati days, means like the results of the chanting is both the reciter audience will become perfect. Blessings from the demigod. Those who, out of the transcendental kindness, give up their immortal knowledge to their ignorant, automatically gain the demigod's blessings. Thus, one will achieve, one will go back to Godhead. Okay, Mataji? Anybody have any more questions? That's the end of the session. Hare
those
Krishna.
who distribute this knowledge will get demigods' blessings
Yeah, blessings of demigods also.
also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Why is
because Dhruva Mahārāja's pastimes, like, no, basically when I was a child, I used to have a book in, like, I got somehow, I saw a book on Dhruva Mahārāja, and I don't know how many times I read that pastime. That was so much motivating and interesting. So that can attract anybody of any age, gender, any spiritual disposition. Dhruva Mahārāja and Pradhan Mahārāja pastimes are so sweet, and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear hundreds and hundreds of times, repeat like that. Okay.
Prabhuji, one more question which is not actually related to this chapter. I heard that Duryodhana, even after doing all those bad stuff, he went to heaven.
Yeah,
Or he went to
he went to heaven because he died in front of Krishna. That one positive aspect is there, right? Heaven is not back to Godhead, Mataji. Heaven is also temporary. It's a temporary place where he is going to enjoy his pious credits, and then that kind of entities will again fall down into the material world.
But he did not have any positive credits, only because of
Positive credits, he
presence.
saw Krishna, he was a relative of Krishna, and he knowingly or even if pretentious, he served Krishna, and he left his body in the presence of Krishna. So who will have that kind of blessings than Duryodhana? They are very.
And also all of them who
can you
were
see
killed,
when you person practice Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, how many persons can see it?
Yeah.
Everybody
and also
who left
all the
the
people who
everybody who left the body in the Kurukshetra battlefield
yeah.
of Kurukshetra, Prabhupada said they went back to Godhead.
Oh, they went back to Godhead. People who were killed.
See,
People who were killed on the battlefield, they went to
they also went back to Godhead.
Vrindavana.
See, like their devotional Sukruti starts from that point. They might be in that same lifetime, or might be after some lifetime. Then automatically they become Krishna conscious and they'll go back to Godhead.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vandana Pranam.